Okay, we're really.
Okay, we better get started here. I don't want to hold anybody after. This is Operations Management 361. My name is John Chapman. And some of you I know, some of you I don't know. Some of you look familiar. Are you famous? Okay, that's it. How are you doing? Good. Great. It's good to be here. It's exciting. Did everybody get a desk? Do you need a place to sit? Are you okay back there? You okay? We're a little bit tight. There's a room up here. Only a couple of seats left. I guess that's good. Where to start? I'm happy to be here. So, I've been teaching this course for a number of years now. It's a great course. I love it. And it's exciting. The first day is kind of exciting. I would like to do the relatives near me. Can we just get this out of the, I mean, you know what? If you see somebody in class and you're not sure if they're on the family tree or not, let's just check, shall we? Can we just check? So if you pull out your phones and if you go to the family search app or family tree app, is that what it's called? You click on the relatives around me and you scan for relatives. Oh, in fact, if anybody's in here, my second or third cousin, I'm going to give you an extra credit point right now. If you're my second or third cousin, you deserve an extra credit. Is that nepotism or what? It doesn't get worse than that. Maybe this isn't the best way to start the class. Nepotism, Brother Chapman. Third cousin, we got one. Danielle, is that you? Look at this. Danielle, oh, through Rosabelle Gardner. Aunt Rose, great Aunt Rose. She went by Belle. She went by Belle Gardner, Belle Nelson. That's really cool. Ernestine Hansen through this. Oh, look at that. Yeah, Danielle, cousin. That's like one of the closest connections I've ever had. Oh, we're fourth. Maddie, we're fourth. We're really close. Okay, Danielle, send me an email. Okay, send me an email. Hey, that's pretty exciting. I see a lot of fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth cousins, a ton of eighth cousins, ninth cousins, and 10th cousins. Anybody in here second cousins? Do we have any second cousins in here? Okay, third cousins. Raise your hand for third cousins. We're third cousins. Anybody else? Wow, we get the closest match. That makes me feel more special. Fourth cousins. Raise your hand for fourth cousins. A couple of fourth cousins. Okay, who's your cousin with? Ellie and Ben are fourth cousins. Who you? You guys? Oh, you're fourth cousins twice. Wow. Anybody else fourth cousins? Oh wow. Okay, so you're heavily related to everybody. So these are the two people that are like most related to everybody in here. Okay, what's your name? Brandon. Okay, great. And then green hat over here. Do you have a fourth cousin? I think we've met. What's your name? Okay. Douglas. What? You're in this class? You were like right here the whole time. You're kidding me. What is up, buddy? Oh my gosh. It's so good to see you. You got a haircut. That's what did it. You have a haircut. Oh, that's hilarious. It's good to have you. Wow. Okay, you guys are this is a fun class. This is a cool people class. You guys are cool. Russell's here. We're set. We're set. Okay, great. I already got distracted. This is a good sign. This is going to be a fun semester. I'd like to say an opening prayer. I want to talk a little bit about why I'm here. It's a little bit awkward for me to do that. Bear with me. And then I want to create some teams and I want to dive into some content today. Does that sound good? We have a couple of assignments due. I want to talk about the course and I kind of want to get through some of these assignments. It's a short first week for us. So sometimes we have a longer first week. This week is a little bit shorter. So I kind of want to just dive in. Is that terrible? Anybody opposed? Okay, I like that. Appreciate that. Let's dive in. Opening prayer. Can I say the opening prayer? I'll say it. Dear Heavenly Father, we are grateful for the opportunity to come today, the beginning of a new semester. Grateful for this institution. It's so cold outside, though. Help us feel warm. Help us feel connected and belonging. Help us to grow mentally and spiritually. Help us to serve others, look out and help, and serve those around us. We're grateful for President Sister Meredith and all that they do for the school behind the scenes and on the stage and everything they do. We're grateful for who they are. We are grateful for this gospel that brings us, allows us to come together and to come here. We're grateful for the opportunity to learn. Father, we know we have weaknesses. We know that we struggle at times. We pray for hope, pray for peace, pray for the desire to move forward, even with burdens and constraints upon us. We pray for our families, for those that support us, for those that want us to succeed. We're grateful for their love and kindness. We're grateful for their willingness to support us, and we pray for them this semester. We pray that this semester we can do our best, expand our knowledge, expand our skills, expand our understanding. Help us to prepare for the future. That we can be useful and that we can find joy and happiness in the blessings that Thou hast for us in our lives. We are grateful for this opportunity. We pray for Thy Spirit to be with us this day, this first few weeks of a new semester. We're grateful for all the support and connections around us. And we pray again for Thy Spirit to be with us. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Okay, why did I come to BYU Idaho? I hope that at some level, everybody can answer this question. Why did you come to BYU Idaho? Anybody want to start off? Please. Nowhere else accepted you. I love that. Wait, where else did you apply? Well, no, you don't have to say the names. Like, did you apply other places? Yeah. Okay, just checking. I used to, when I was in high school, and I'd tell people I'm in the Virgin Lips Club. Some people started asking me, well, did you have any opportunities to kiss? And I was like, well, no. And then they're like, that doesn't count. And then I had opportunities and it didn't happen. So that was legit. That's great. Yeah, I think it's important to understand why we are at BYU individually as well as collectively. There's something amazing going on. So my effort here to try to describe my own story is really an invitation to for you to consider yours. Why are you here? And by the way, that's not a bad reason. I have a little anecdote story that goes along with that. My first job out of college, I only got one offer everywhere I applied. I took the offer, and it was an incredible opportunity. And it really guided me in ways that I would not have been had I not had that opportunity. So that is not a bad reason to come. I have personal experience, and I know I've been there. And it was good. It was a good experience, and it was really good. There's things that I learned from that experience that I didn't know I needed till I came out. But I think understanding why we are here can be really significant. So let me share you mine. Here's me. I graduated from Southern Virginia University. I would consider Southern Virginia University as a kind of a startup university. I know you're surprised I looked like that. I had hair. I looked good, didn't I? I don't know what happened. I still eat my vegetables too. It's weird. I was at Southern Virginia. This is my graduating class on the right. That's the total number of people in my graduating class at Southern Virginia. That's like the whole year. That's how many people they graduated all year. 30 some odd people there, maybe 30. And it was a great experience. It was great because for me, it was small, and I knew almost all their names. I'd been in classes with almost all of them, and it was a tight community. The total school had something like 500 students. And it was like a startup. It was like you had to go to the registrar and tell them what classes you were going to register for next semester, right? It was like a you-driven place. It wasn't a place like this, I think, in some ways where, some people, they go to big school and they're like, they just get in line and they wait and they do what everybody else tells them to do and they graduate. I kind of had to fight for my own education, right? I had to pursue what I wanted to pursue, and it was a really good match for me, and what I needed at the time. I came out of Southern Virginia University and they didn't have any career center, right? There was no, this was early on. This is 23 years ago almost. Wow. And they didn't really have any great career center like we have at BYU, Idaho. They didn't have an alumni network that you could just message people on LinkedIn and connect with people all over the world. They didn't have that. By the way, I'm like jabbing students as well because a lot of students don't do that, right? Here at BYU, and it's like, it's a shame. It's a shame. Incredible opportunities. Nobody had heard of Southern Virginia University. We just changed our name. The name of the university changed, right? It was brand, it used to be Southern SCM, then it was Southern Virginia College, and now it's Southern Virginia. So there was nothing out there. One of my classmates, I was sitting in a class, not unlike this one. And one time this was a classmate, she had a problem with her computer back in the day when you had 3.5-inch diskette floppy drive. You guys remember? You know what I'm talking about. 3.5-inch floppy, they called it a floppy drive. It wasn't that. Anyways, you'd stick it into your computer, you'd eject it. She had a problem with her computer. I wasn't that smart, but I diagnosed that that was the problem. Her dad ends up sending me this thank you email. Hey, thanks for helping out. And I said, hey, you're welcome. He responds back. He says, hey, if you need any help getting a job, let me know. I was like, do I ever? I was smart enough to respond. I replied to him and I said, here's my resume. I'm interested in these companies. And he worked for a company called Lockheed Martin. He was based out of the Skunk Works operation in Southern California. He pushed my resume, that's the wrong word, recommended my resume to a guy in Texas. And that guy in Texas flew me out first class to Texas for an interview. Anybody flown first class like somebody else pays first class? It's nice. You get the soft washcloth, you get the peanuts. It's nice. It's nice. And I was like, and I get there and they have all these new people that have flown in from around the country. And come to find out I was the only one they flew first class. I mean, that was my claim to fame. Anyways, I get a job. So I ended up going through the interview process. I was hired. I went to Texas to work for Lockheed Martin because in large part, one of my classmates' fathers connected with me, right? So see what I'm saying there? There are connections here in this room that are going to be much more important than this particular class grade. You know what I'm saying? So part of the reason I say that is because that's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing that we have this many people in a class together that we can help each other in ways that we don't know about yet, which is pretty cool. So that's part of my story. And part of my story was that connection. Like I said, Lockheed Martin was the only offer I got. I took the offer. What I did for Lockheed Martin was I purchased, I didn't buy, I didn't build, I purchased this. Does anybody recognize what this is? Anybody recognize this, please? A wiring harness. I'm impressed. How do you know about wiring harnesses? Automotive. Okay, very good. Anybody else recognize this wiring harness? Where'd you pick it up? You like cars? Okay, very cool. This is a wiring harness. So what we're talking about here is there's a trunk right here, there's a main set of wires here. Then it branches off here, and then there's many branches here. And if you notice, they're just filled with all kinds of cables, right? This is a wiring harness for the F-16. And so my first job out of college was building weapons of mass destruction. Now, there might be some ethical questions there. It was the only job I got, but I was happy to take it. What I did was I purchased these wiring harnesses for the F-16. That's where I started out. My experience here was quite interesting. The F-16, anybody know how many F-16s have been produced? Anybody guesses? Like total? Close, very close. When I was there, they're about 4,500. I think they're up to about 5,000 now. Maybe a little bit more because it's been a few years. But it's been around for a long time. So this is a product that started in, was it mid 70s probably is when they started making them by McDonnell Douglas way back in the day. And it's still in service, right? Air Force flies these. Um, and at the time, Lockheed Martin was just ramping up to develop a new product, the F-22. Anybody flown an F-22? Just curious. Just curious. Had to ask. Had to ask. In fact, it's funny I mentioned that. There is a student that I just connected with, or he sent me a message just yesterday, and he's going through the Navy's OCS program. So he might be flying the 35 here pretty soon. Anyway, um, Lockheed was getting ready to build the next generation of fighters, which is their F-22 and then their F-35. And as a part of that migration, the engineers decided, hey, we should use a new, better design tool to design the aircraft. And so they said, I know, why don't we try to test this out on the F-16 production line? And so what they did is they gave F-16 engineers new software to design different models and variations. So for example, if you want a cheap F-16, what you do is you replace all these cables with coax cables, like the stuff from your house, right? Coax cable that, like if you have cable at your house, the actual cable is called coaxial cable. So the budget version of an F-16 contains coax cables. If you're Korea, though, you've got all this money and you live in a very temperamental place in the world, you want the real high performance F-16s, then you use fiber optic cable. So instead of coaxial cable, you build these same harnesses, these same wiring configurations, but with fiber optic cable, right? Your performance on that F-16 just went up a couple notches. You're going faster, you're flying harder, your instrumentation is much better, your reliability is, everything's better. And so we were building these modified configurations of F-16 for third world countries, right? Chile was one, Turkey was, or Oman was another one. And please. Less, where they spend less money on defense spending, where that's not a primary objective of, they just don't have a lot of money for defense spending, like Chile, for example, or countries that don't have any defense and other people are helping defend them, kind of a thing. So where the defense spending is very low. And it turns out that the design software that engineers were using was not working. And what happened was when I went to buy some of these wiring harnesses from Mexico, notice these are handmade, right? This person, she was really nice. I got to meet her. And this person is actually putting on individual connectors on each of these ends. These are handmade to military specifications, very handmade intensive. So it's made in Mexico at this time. I think they're still made there. And they took this, we bought it from the supplier. This is our supplier. We put it on the plane in the F-16 and it was short by 6 inches. And if you can imagine, what do you think the lead time is? How long do you think it takes to make this, to put it on the production line? Any guesses? Yeah, we're talking months at least. Months at least, right? To make this, to get all of the wire correctly routed, to get all the connectors on by hand, then to test all those connections, because they want to test each wire, right? That everything works before they put it. Incredible testing. So it literally takes a multi-year process from the time of design to purchase and then put it on the plane. And if you can imagine, we have this production line in Fort Worth. Lockheed has a production facility in Fort Worth. The building is 1 mile long, literally a mile long. And parts come in one end and jets fly out the other. I mean, it's phenomenal. And we go to put this thing on the plane and it doesn't fit. Now, what happens in that environment, what happened then, is that the plane would stop on the production line. It could not go to the next step in production. So you have an entire production line stopped with union workers that are going to get paid, whether or not the plane goes out the door, and the customer's contract waiting. And the customer contract is such that if you're late, the customer gets a discount, kind of like Domino's. Do they still do that? 30 minutes? I haven't tried it. It's been a while. So, and this product, this wiring harness, as a percentage of the cost of this airplane is minuscule. It's like something percent, right? And it's holding up the entire production line. So I was in, needless to say, I found myself months into my career after college having daily meetings with vice presidents. They called it the war room meeting, where you'd come in and I had a list of about 12 parts that were labeled red in the system. And if we didn't get those parts in within 24 hours, we were going to stop the production line. As you can imagine, I was pretty freaked out. I mean, I was pretty nervous, or maybe you can't imagine. I was nervous. Let's just say I was nervous and very high pressure. When I got to work in the morning, I had no idea when I was going to get home. I didn't know, because it was like fighting fires all day long. You know, this problem would pop up and I'd solve that problem, and then another problem would pop up and I'd try to solve that for 4 hours, and another problem would pop up, and it was incredible. I actually had, that was probably in my career, as I look back, that was probably the most learning that I had during that time. It was very, very high pressured, very, very go, 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 go. And I look back on that and I am excited about that experience. During the time, it was terrible. I would tell my wife, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could do this. I did it for about a year and a half. And I learned a ton. So part of that experience taught me, man, there's problems out there. There are so many problems in the workplace. People problems, product problems, delivery problems, engineering design problems. I didn't even create this problem, right? This is way out of I was in supply chain. I was a buyer. I was just buying parts. I wasn't an engineer. But I was responsible. So because I was the liaison with the supplier for Lockheed for that particular part, it was my responsibility to get the right part on time, on budget. And I was held accountable for that. That was a little bit rough. But it was really, really good learning opportunity. I came away from that experience with a couple of questions, but also learns. So here's some of the questions that I came away with. And it relates to, and this is probably a little bit long ways of saying this, maybe I'm being a little bit long-winded here, of describing exactly why I'm here at BYU, Idaho. But it's helpful because it showed me a couple things. Here's some thoughts. Good performance does not always dependent on my actions alone. Information flow could not keep up with product flow. Implementing new information systems alone does not fix the problem. The combination of information flow and trust and business understanding resulted in high performance. So when I think about this experience here, what I come away with is really understanding that in order to overcome those problems, it took a combination of information, data, trust with other people. I was in constant communication with the production line, with engineers, with my boss. It was this crazy dance. It was like a dance of all these people. And trust made a huge difference. And understanding the business. That's what made the big difference. And so I came away from that thinking, why is it that that's so hard to do? I was actually kind of puzzled. I was like, wow, what if we could really improve the performance of organizations and teams such that there's data flow, there's trust, and there's business understanding? What is going to create business value? And that kind of launched me into a direction where after that, I pursued an MBA, and then I went back and I did a PhD, and I looked at the intersection of those three things. I did a PhD in instructional psychology and technology, where we looked at how do teams perform using technology? What role do teams and technology have? How do you integrate those? How do you optimize those to really improve high performance? So here's some examples of some teams that I've seen, that I've been a part of, where I think in each of these examples, understanding what creates value and how we work together, and also information flow builds high performance. And I'm really, really interested about that. This is an IBC team that we did last year. This is the team that did customized socks. I don't know if anybody was on here when you remember they sold customized socks in the MC. They did really well. There was information flow. There was a high level of trust, and they understood what it meant to create business value. Here's a team over here. This is an interesting one. I don't know if you can see this. This is my son being thrown up in the air at his wedding day by all the groomsmen. And if you think about it, maybe there's some teamwork there. There's some information flow there, and there's some value creation there. That's an interesting one, right? He's like pointing at the camera while he's up in the air. This is Spud Harvest. This is my daughters in this group here. They were Spud harvesting. Here's another IBC group, and this is another daughter on a basketball team. If you think about it, right? Each of these organizations deal with other people. You're working with other people. You have to have a certain level of trust, maybe especially here. And you have to be able to create value, right? What's the objective? What are we trying to do here? So those three things led me to realize that there is some really interesting things. And so let me connect that now to BYU Idaho. When I did my PhD, I realized there are some really interesting theories about how to do this. And I felt like BYU Idaho was a place where we could apply all these theories and figure out how do we get people and information and technology to optimize performance. And that's why I'm here. I'm here not because you guys are guinea pigs necessarily. And hopefully you don't feel like you're guinea pigs in a bad sense, but hopefully you feel like at BYU Idaho, they're willing to push the boundaries on education, technology, trust, and performance in a way that's pretty unique. And that's what attracted me here to be. So I feel like this is an incredible place to be when you think about integrating people together, technology together, and information. And in this case, the business of BYU Idaho is really human capital, knowledge and learning and wisdom. What a great business to be in, right? That's why I'm here. I want to apply these ideas and theories, my experience from before. I want to answer these questions. How are we doing this? How can we do this better? And I feel like BYU Idaho is a great place to do that. That's kind of why I'm here. Any thoughts? What do you guys think? Meh, mid, it's okay. That's right. You're right there. That's it. See, you did get a haircut. See, it's good to see you. Okay, thanks. Um, Anybody else? Any other thoughts? One question could be, well, Brother Chapman, how are you doing? How's it coming? What's the progress? But nobody asked that question, so nope, too late. You missed it. The window's closed. Sorry. Me or her? Oh, they kicked me out. Well, it's a rotation thing. I'm off the rotation. Kicked out sounds bad. It's not that bad. It was really fun. I love it. Who's my favorite person on one of the teams? It's classified. How did you know? You know Evan? Oh, that's fun. No, these are great teams, great memories. In fact, I don't even have a whole other team here. Great experiences. Please. No, no, no. I was spring and winter. Yeah. No, not really. This class. Sorry. This is the one. Sorry, I missed that. I missed that. Yeah, I apologize. Took me a minute. Took me a minute. I got it. No, I really enjoy all the classes, actually. The classes that I'm teaching, I teach all supply chain classes. This is operations. I teach the 461 version and the 478. I miss freshmen. I miss the kind of, are there any true freshmen here, by the way? I didn't see any on the rolls. Maybe there's one or two that, but no, I enjoy them all. Um, yeah. I really like the learning part of me learning and the teaching that goes on. I enjoy that as well. Any other questions about me, please? Yeah.
What did you learn different from like your basketball team?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. A couple things. Younger teams are usually from an age perspective, they're more willing to try something new, but stuff doesn't stick as well, which is kind of an interesting trade-off. So it's fun to try new things, but you kind of have to hold on their hand over time to see what sticks. Older ones, like most of you, if you're junior and senior, you're probably pretty set in your learning ways. Learning ways meaning the priority that you give to your homework or the way that you go about studying for your final exams, right? I mean, you're probably not stuck. Maybe that's a negative. I'm too sassy. I'm sorry. Or, who said that? It was her. Okay. Um, but we develop these habits, right? It's just harder to get out of those. I mean, I'm old. I have habits, you know? I mean, there's some good things that come from habits, but sometimes they hold us back. Yeah. Great. Other questions? Please.
Favorite job outside of like professor?
My favorite job outside professor at BYU. I know that's a hard one. Um, I really enjoy startups. I enjoy the feel, the vibe, the uncertainty, the the walking, running around with your head cut off kind of thing, trying to do so much with so little, the challenge that it is, the rush. That was pretty fun. Kind of the collaboration that you have with the new startup with small group of people is like a small team. Um, it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. Yeah. Okay, great. Let's keep going, shall we? Should we dive into the class? Is that what we're doing now? Okay. Yeah, let me just follow up with one more thought here on the why did I come? I would challenge you. I challenge you to think about that in terms of your particular talents, abilities. How does your coming here help you? Where does that take you? Where does it go? Why are you here? Looking at your past, maybe thinking about your future. How do you connect those two through BYU Idaho? And my guess is, my experience has been, as you think about that more, um, you'll think about things that you maybe haven't thought about before that will or could improve your experience here to make a huge difference. If all you do is come and go to class, right? Um, that's the good thing. Don't get me wrong. Class is good. But there's so much more. Um, it's kind of exciting. And hopefully you feel a little bit about that. All right, let's talk about the course. Completely change gears here. Is that okay? What time do we get out of here? 1:30. Wait, somebody's like 12:30, Brother Chapman. 12:30. 12:15. It just got shorter. 12:15 is when we're out. 12:15 for sure. Wait, what time is it? We started at 11. That's what it is. Okay, so we get out at 1. Okay, great. Um, let's do this. Um, let's see. How much time do I have? Great. I'm thinking about, should I throw you guys? Let's do this. Let me create teams first. So one of the things that I like to do here in this class is I want to create some teams. We have some team assignments. By the way, don't get me started on a soapbox. Writing a 20-page paper is not a team assignment. Can I just say that out loud? I'm sorry that your other professors don't agree with me. I have a little bit of beef with the higher education establishment. No one specifically. There's a problem. It's a pandemic. We should not be assigning 12-page papers or 20-page or any page papers to teams. That is not a team thing. Sorry, I just had to get that out. Thanks for my TED Talk. Okay, let's move on. So the teamwork we're going to be doing here is all in class, and it's not heavy stuff. It's not time intensive outside of class, is what I'm saying. Most of it will, in fact, I can't think of any team activity outside of class. It's all going to be in class. And We're there to help each other, right? Hey, what's the assignment about? Or hey, I'm at this roadblock. Did you guys get this? Can you help me with this? Most of the stuff, most of the reason why we have teams is for help, to connect. So the way I want to do teams is I don't want to have you form your own teams. I don't want you to have all the accounting students on one team. I don't want to have all of the IT or super Excel people on another team. So I kind of want to make them randomly, but I kind of want to divide up the resources fairly evenly, at least so we're not combining a whole lot of resources on one team. So the way I'll do this is I'm going to create a line. Maybe we'll start over here. We'll have people line up and we'll just go, we'll go up and around like that. And then we're just going to count off, okay? And we'll divide into teams that way. And you'll be in this team for the whole semester. I feel like sometimes as teachers, we change teams too quickly and we like don't get to know the other person's name before we change teams. So I think there's some benefit in being in the same team all semester. And then I think what I'd like to do is I'd just like to have, I'm going to ask some questions. So for example, the first question I'm going to ask is raise your hand if you feel very confident, what is confident the right word? What's the right word? I'm going to go to you for all my words. What's assured, experienced? Okay. Experienced with Excel. So this class is heavy Excel. We'll be using Excel almost every day in this class. You'll be using Excel outside of this class for hours on end. This is a little bit heavy. I shouldn't say a little bit. This is heavy Excel. So the first question I'll ask to start this line is just raise your hand if you feel like you're reasonably adept. What do we say? Experienced with Excel. You feel like, yeah, I'm okay with Excel. I can make a chart. I can do pivot table. I've probably done a macro or two, right? If you're at that level, then you're probably okay. Okay, that's great. So, okay, you can put your hands down. And what I'll do is I'll call those people up that you just raised your hand and they'll just start the line right here. Does that make sense? Okay, hold on, not yet, not yet. And then I'm going to say something like, the next question is going to be like, does anybody have any computer programming experience? And if you have any classes or anything, then you'll get in the line after them. Does that make sense? And then I'll ask another question like, does anybody have any supply chain or operations work experience, worked for a company? And then that'll be the next question. So that'll be the next part of the line, right? And don't worry if you're like, Brother Chapman, what if I haven't done any of these things? Good for you. That's why you're in this class, right? Don't feel bad. That's like, you're going to get the most value out of this class than anybody else. I mean, no offense. That's great. That's really good. So don't feel bad if I ask these questions and you're like, maybe I'm in the wrong class. No, you're in the right class, I think, probably. But we will talk about Excel in just a minute. I want to get a little bit more specific on Excel. And basically, if you don't have any Excel experience, don't feel like you have to drop the class. We'll talk about that. I've got some videos to prep you. We'll be doing some stuff in class for the first week, next week, to help us get through this kind of the rhythm of the class is a little bit weird. There's some quirk things about the class we'll talk about. What I'm saying is we are heavy Excel, and I think there's ways, if you don't have any experience in Excel, you can still be successful in this class, is what I'm saying. So with that, let me take a couple questions, and then we'll start the line. Let's go here and here. Just come up for the first question. Yeah, so if you're like better at Excel, then you can just come up with Excel. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm just trying to, just trying to float a lot of those resources across the teams, please.
Should we take our stuff up there with us?
Yes, that's a great question. So what we'll do here is we'll do, oh dear, 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Wait, is everybody registered for this class? What's 40 divided by 5? Is it really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to have team one sit right here. Now, when I say here, I want team one to be these two rows together. Does that make sense? So not here. Team one's not here. Team one's going to be right here. So you can collaborate, talk. Team two, if you're two, when we do the line, we count off. And if you're a two, I want you to sit right here in these two tables, right? If you're a three, I want you to go right here. If you're a four, I want you to sit right here. Is that good? Okay. If you're, I like this. This is good. If you're a five, I'm going to put you right here. If you're a six, you're here. If you're a seven, you're here. If you're an eight, right there. Okay, we good? Okay, great. So here's the line. Let's see. And last thing before we create the line, I need one email per team. And tell me what your team number is and the names of the people in your team. Sound good? And we'll go to that. Okay. So raise your hand if you feel pretty experienced with Excel. Okay, why don't you all come up here and start that line over here. We'll start over here. Why don't you come right here? We'll start you right here. Perfect. Wait, that's like half the class. You guys are all experienced with Excel. Do you can you write your own macros?
Oh, and so, yeah, I can do that.
Can you do developer tab?
Yes.
Can you pull up VBA and write VBA code manually? That's close enough.
I know like.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Okay, that's a lot. What was my second question? Programming. Raise your hand with programming experience. I mean, if you're not in line already. Okay, great. You're next. What was my third question?
Operation.
Yeah, operations, supply chain experience. If you've worked in operations or supply chain, maybe an internship, maybe dad's company, then you can stay there, but you're next. Okay, let's see. Is there another question? I think it might be sufficient. Let's just do everybody else. Let's wind the line back around. In fact, if you guys want to move this side of the aisle, yeah, move this side. You should scoot over that side. Yeah, why don't you guys wind the line back around and we'll go out the door. This will be fun if it works. Okay, you want to double count for me? How many people do you count? It's the first day. But it is Wednesday. I mean, no.
Do some basic stuff.
I got 42. Close enough. Did you count yourself?
Yeah, I did. I'm just gonna stare.
Yep, that's the line.
Wow. We get done at 1, right? Okay, here we go. We're going to count off. What are we going to count to? 8. Very good. We're going to have 8 teams. So whichever number you get, you're going to go to that team table, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll be there for the duration. What did Ammon the Nephite say to King Lamoni? No, but it's until the day I die. That's it. Okay. 1,
3, 4, 5, 6,
8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wait. Hold up. Okay, thanks. Oh, sorry.
5,
6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3. 1 and 2.
4.
1 and 2. Like for most 2 questions you ask.
Oh, that's fine. You're 4. Yeah, you're good.
6.
7, 8, 1,
2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2,
3, 4,
5,
6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3.
Ready, set, go. I think that's it. We got it. Ready, set, go.
excited to be in your class. I literally
How
texted
are
my
you?
wife and I was just like, this is my favorite class so far. I was like, I have my message.
I don't know. Maybe it'll go down by tomorrow.
Well, I'm sure it's not gonna be easy. I'm excited to learn. So,
Good,
but I've been
good.
good. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed the mustache.
Yeah, I know. Me
I
too.
got one.
Oh no, me too.
Are you gonna grow it back at all? Or are you
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it. I was really tempted over the break to just start something. I went a couple days without shaving just because it was Christmas, but
I gotta show you. I grew out a good beard the other like
I
but I
can't
had
believe I missed you. You
I
were
know.
right there the whole
I was
time.
under your like
I
monitor and
was
stuff.
literally talking to those.
I could tell you were like getting stuff started, so I didn't want to like because I want to talk to you longer, right? But I grew a beard.
Wow, look at you.
And I changed it yesterday, and I was so sad. I was like,
That looks nice too. That's a nice.
so I'm pretty pumped about it.
That's a nice beard.
I'm excited to be in your class. I genuinely think this.
That's fun. Andrea is in my class before this.
Is she really?
Yeah, she is. That's really fun.
I see like a lot of like social media. I don't know.
Oh, fun.
It's kind of fun to keep in contact.
She told me that Jolie posted something on Facebook or Instagram, I guess, about the year. And apparently my worm was on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was showing me the worm. I couldn't believe that was still on there.
You kind of put a year collab together.
Yeah.
I'll have to go find it.
That was pretty fun. Very fun. Okay, one more thing. I do give the option. I just forgot. Sorry, one more thing. 5, 5, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 6. 6? How many ones? I guess 6 ones. 6, 6. Team 5. Do you guys have 4? Oh, there's 5. Okay. I do. Oh, thanks, Peter. I do leave the option open for sisterin. Is that a word? Where's my word? Oh, you're in the back now? How is this going to work? I'll just have to spend more time back here, I guess. I do give the option. If there's any sisterin that are by themselves on a team, I give you the option to trade with anybody in the class right now. So it looks like there's 3 sisterin here. There's 2 sisterin here. You guys have no sisterin? You guys have 3. You have 1. Oh, and you're by yourself. Okay, so you two, I give you the option if you want to. Do you want to switch?
Yeah, we want that guy.
Okay, switch it. Switch it out. Perfect. They've done research on this, and unfortunately, brethren, you have a long way to go. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I'm going to say about that. I should say we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. Okay, so 1 email per team. Send to me, team number and names. Team number and names. Sound good? Take 30 seconds and do that real fast. Ready, set, go.
Oh, it's all.
Oh yeah, it's that guy,
What's your name?
the loud guy.
Casey. Why do I feel like we've met?
I don't know. Maybe we have.
Have we met?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Okay, raise your hand if you've sent the email. Did you send the email? You got it. Raise your hand if you've sent the email. Have you working on it? Working on it? Sent the email? Oh, you guys are good. I like this team. You guys are ready. You're paying attention. You've done everything I've asked you to do. Team 7, high expectations here. High expectations. Ooh, wow. Set the bar high. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, great. 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 3-3. Great. Okay, great. Let me talk about the course. This is probably the boringest part of the day, unless you've been bored so far. You can do that too. That's fine. I'm okay. I want to take 10, 15 minutes to talk about the course. The course is quirky. There's a little bit of quirks in this course, and I wanted to give you a heads up about the quirks. Not me, by the way. I mean, besides me, there's some other quirks. And then I also want to do I want to talk about Excel. And if we have some time, I want to run through a practice quiz, if we can do that. Before I forget, there is a key terms quiz due on Monday when we come to class. So we're going to launch into, good question. There's a reading quiz due before class. The key terms quiz we'll take in class, like right when we come to class, if that makes sense. So there's two things. A good question. Right. So for Monday, you need to make sure to be prepared to have done the reading quiz, which is just a quiz for the chapter. It's open book. You're right. You're going to take chapter 2 from the textbook. I'll show you where that's at. Read that. Take the reading quiz before class on Monday. In class on Monday is the key terms quiz, right when you come to class. So that's, those are the big things. And then the homework's due on Wednesday. We'll talk about that. Okay, so what did I say I was going to do? The class. Very good. Let's do some quirks. Let's do some Excel, and then we'll see if we can be done here. I'm going to go ahead and go to the Canvas for 361. So let's look at this. 361 Canvas course. This is the home page of the course. These are all the topics we'll be talking about in this course. Let's see, is it helpful to do this or is it less helpful to do this? There are some information boxes up here. Here's the textbook. It's all online. It's for free. It's written by our own brother Clark. He wrote this book. It's not even probably. It is the best operations and gospel textbook ever written in the history of the earth. So you should feel some joy about this textbook. And you may not feel that way after next week, but right now, before you read it, no, it's really good. This textbook covers all these topics that we're going to be talking about. It covers a very good breadth and gets to a pretty good depth of operations management. So I want you to know that this curriculum really is one of the best operations management curriculums, not just in BYU, Idaho, but I'm talking about higher education, right? The breadth and the depth that we get to in this class is actually pretty good. So that's a little bit intimidating, but it should also be exciting. So that's kind of where we go. This is the textbook link right there. Notice that it's broken down by chapters, but also the entire book is a PDF here. The syllabus is right here. Here's what the syllabus looks like. Here's our grading scale. Class participation. So I forgot to change this. I'm just going to be real honest. Can I just be honest? Okay, I'm just going to be really honest. I don't take attendance. Sorry. Call me lazy, call me whatever you want. I just don't take attendance. There is class participation points in here. Usually I just take these out because I don't take attendance. What that means is it's harder because you have the responsibility to learn, right? I am not going to be the one that's going to be asking you to come to class. You got to come to learn. Um, in addition, I am recording this class on Zoom, and I believe, my own personal belief is sometimes we all need a Zoom day. Sometimes we just need to take a Zoom day. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes Zoom is calling your name and you got to take it and you don't have a choice. So in this class, if you want to take a Zoom day, take a Zoom day. Join us on Zoom. That'd be great. Other than that, the reason why I record the class is because I put the class recordings right here under course media. So usually it takes me a few hours. If not today, I'll get it up by tomorrow morning. I will post the class on course media. So if there's something you want to review, if I was going too fast in Excel and you want to go back and look at it, more than welcome to do that. What else in the syllabus? There are reading quizzes and key term quizzes. So we just talked about that, right? You're going to take a reading quiz before class on Monday. We'll take a key terms quiz in class on Monday. There's homework problems worth 40 points. Here is the quirkiness. This is probably the biggest quirkiness of the course. You have to get 100% on the homework to take the weekly problem exam. Okay, so let me say that again. Every week there's homework. You have to get how much? 100% on the homework before you what? Take the problem exam. Right, so this homework, what it's talking about is Excel. You're gonna do some Excel problems. You're gonna solve some problems in Excel. You have to get 100%. Now, what we've done is we've provided for you some helps. So let me just show you what this looks like, just to give you a sense for what this looks like. I'm gonna go to the homework for next week. There's some video helps, right? There's some instructions beforehand. But also in the homework, homework process strategy, stand by. Homework process strategy, where'd you go? Homework process strategy, there it is. You don't have to do that, that's me. You won't see that. Once you start the homework, you'll see something like this. And this is what homework looks like for next week. A couple of interesting things here. We use this program called Mobius. What Mobius does is it changes these numbers for every student in here. So every student is going to have different data, different numbers for their homework, right? This is going to be different. This is going to be different. But the process that you go through is going to be very same. How about that? So the way the homework's going to work is after I do this problem, I think the answer is, let's say, pre-bake. For all of the homework questions for this entire semester, I'm going to choose an answer and I'm going to come over here to say, how did I do? If I click on that, it's going to tell me if it's right or wrong. Is that cheating? No, that's not cheating. Is it weird? It's a little bit weird, but that's how we do it. So you're going to be able to know if you get all the answers right or wrong before you submit, right? There's a submit button down here, submit assignment. If you click on the submit button, this button right here, before getting all the answers correct, guess what happens? Yeah, that too. It changes all your data. You have to start over from scratch. That's not my favorite functionality. I didn't put it in there on purpose. I apologize. But that I'm just warning you, right? So what I'm saying is if you go through all these problems and you think you get them all correctly, but there's one question that's incorrect, like in all these questions, there's 7 questions with a whole bunch of answers here. If you submit the assignment and there's just one thing that's incorrect, you got to redo the whole thing. So be careful. You want to go through each page here and you want to click on how did I do? You want to make sure all this is green, right? I mean, yeah, Brother Chapman, could I come in here and can I just click on this and find the correct answer? Yes. I just got the right answer. Easy bake is the right answer, right? For me, it may not be for everybody. But there's numbers here, right? So this next one, you have to figure out what is the nearest whole number to this question. And you got to click on how did I do? It'll tell you if it's right or wrong. Make sure you get everything green before you submit the assignment. Make sense? but you have to get 100% of the homework to be able to take the problem exam. Okay, great. So that's the homeworks. There are homework every week. Please, question? Yep.
How big you do function?
Yep.
That a certain number of times? Or-
No. As many times as you want. As many times as you want. Click on it again and again and again. It's there for you. Is it there for the exam?
Dang it. Can we make it for the exam?
Nobody's ever asked me that before.
Something to look into.
Something to look into.
See if it's the process.
Process improvement, team 2.
Maybe just on the final.
I'll have to think about that. You got me thinking. You got me thinking. Ooh. Wow, this class is special. This is a special class. Send me an email so don't forget. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Maybe there's a way we can make that work. I just have to think about that. I don't know how that would work at this point. I mean, the reality is, okay, here's the other reality. You know, there's how many sections in this class? There's umpteen sections. And I would feel a little bit remiss. Is that the word? Where's my word person? Remiss? Okay, we'll say yes. I would feel a little bit remiss if this section has access to how did I do on the exam and no other section does. I don't know. I have to think about it. There's something morally questionable in that. I don't know. I'll think about it. Okay, so that's the homework. Let me go back to the syllabus. So that's the quirky thing. And if you ask Brother Chapman, why in the world do we have to get 100% on the homework? It turns out before my time, so this class has been taught for many years before my time, and this is like my 5th year teaching here. So the class has been going on for 15, 16, maybe 20 years now. They did research and they found out, maybe not surprisingly, that when students got 100% of the homework, they did much better on the overall scores of the class, right? So the research suggests, which kind of makes sense, right? To get 100%, you're going to do better on the exams. So in some ways, this is a blessing. In some ways, it's going to take you a little bit. Sometimes most students can get to an 85, 90% pretty easily. Sometimes it's that last 10, 15% that takes the most time. And in some ways, that's where the learning is, right? That's where the real learning is, when you're digging in for the last 10, 15%. There's TAs. We can talk about TA lab, right? There's lots of opportunities to get that score up to 100%. And in reality, by the way, next week, I'd like to do most of the homework in class next week so that we can get used to the process, so we can help each other just kind of grease the sleds. Is that the right word? Grease the sleds? Yeah. Why's the board? Wax the board? I like that better. See, you got this. So for next week, we'll do most of the homework in class. I think you were question. That's a good question. Okay, great. Here we go. So we have homework. Let's see, what else in the syllabus do I need to mention? Each week we have a problem exam and a question exam. The question exam, these are both due Saturday night at 11:59. So the homework is going to be due on, when did it say it was due? I can't remember. Is it Wednesday or is it Thursday? January 16th. Thursday. So I've got Thursday at 6:30 p.m. So the homework's due Thursday, 6:30, and that's most weeks. So you got to get the homework done first. By the way, if you miss the homework, you have a bad Thursday, you miss the homework, and you say, Brother Chapman, can I take the problem exam even if I miss the homework? Guess what you have to do? You still got to do the homework even if it's late. Does that make sense? So you still got to get 100% on the homework, even if you don't get any credit for it because it's late, to take the problem exam. Kind of weird, kind of quirky. But that's it. That's like the biggest quirky thing in this class is to remember you got to do the homework, 100% on the homework before you take the problem exam. A couple of comments and then a couple of questions here I can see. So each week there is a question exam and a problem exam. The question exam is much like a key terms quiz. Does that make sense? It's like a key terms quiz for definitions for that week. This is open note, open book, closed internet. You just take this by yourself. The problem exam is the one that students spend the most time on. This is the one where you're doing Excel problems. This is taken by yourself, and there's no retakes on problem exam. So once you take it, you're done, right? And again, this is the one where you have to get 100% on the homework to take the problem exam. There's a pledge that you also have to do and the homework. By the way, if you bomb one of your problem exams, and problem exams are 90 points of the course, so that's a pretty significant point total. If you have a bad week, you just bomb it. Brother Chapman, this has been a terrible week. I just was terrible on the problem exam. You can rework those scores. You can rework it. So you're not retaking it, right? What you can do is you can raise your score up to 70%. If you do that no later than 1 week after. So what you do is I'll show you where you can actually go see the correct answers in Mobius, and you rework what you did. You take your Excel spreadsheet that you did up for the test, you rework it, and you send me your Excel sheet, and I will go into Canvas and change your score to 70%. Not bad, right? That's actually not bad. So worst case scenario, you could get 70% for all of your problem exams. That is not terrible. That's not terrible. That's a good. Couple more things, then we'll have some questions. There are some in-class simulations. So these are in-class activities 6 times throughout the semester. If you're not here, I can't give you points for them. These are ones where if you're on Zoom, you might be able to twist my arm if you have a good reason, then I'll give you the points for them. But these class simulations are the ones that we're doing in class, 6 activities throughout the semester. And you got to be in class for these ones. This is where the learning happens this 6 times in the semester, where if you're not in class, it's really hard to get that experience elsewhere. So there's these 6 times, 70 points. And basically, if you're in class, you'll get the points. You know, it's not that difficult. So it's basically in class, you got it. Course evaluation, and then final exams. There is a final question exam and a final problem exam. And these will happen at the end of the semester. These are just like the weekly question exam and the weekly problem exam. They are open book, open note. The final problem exam, you can actually use all of the spreadsheets that you've used all semester. So it's very open. It's closed internet, right? Closed friend. But if you prepare well for your final problem exam, you can actually do really well. And it can be actually pretty easy. Because if you've prepared for all these weeks and you're doing all the assignments every week, you get to that final problem exam and you've got everything prepared. You know how to solve all those problems. And we can use all those spreadsheets for the final exam. And then there is some extra credit. But my experience says most students don't like extra credit. They just like the love of learning. They're not here for extra credit. They just like to feel good about what they're learning. So I don't know. Is that fair? Is that describe you guys accurately?
But if you want to add
You're okay with that too? Okay, questions, comments, please.
class divisions.
Yeah.
Are the 5, and those are gonna have.
I think so.
just
I think they're in.
like, hey, we have one today.
Yeah, no, the intent is not to be. Let me double check. I think it's on. Do you guys have access to modules? You do, right? I'm pretty sure. Wait a minute. These aren't published. I thought they were available. My intent is not to be sporadic or surprising. My intent is to be. Yeah, here's the day we're going to do this. Let's see. Where would I find that? Probably in the calendar. In the assignments. I'm pretty sure it's published. So for example, let me pull one up and see if you can see it. How about that? We'll check. So if I go to, let's see, memorize key terms. This is in class. Where's my in class? Man, there's a lot of stuff here. In-class simulations, there it is. Do you see inventory management, February 19th? JIT lean, March 12th.
You go to psych home and then you student view?
You're smart. What's your name? What's your name? Logan. Are you like this in all your classes, Logan?
Try not.
You try not to? I like that answer. I like that a lot. What did I say it was? March was the first one? February 19th. Yeah, so if I go to February, there it is right there. Inventory management. Now it says 5 p.m. because they give you some time after class to put in some of the answers because there's like an assignment that there's some data that you have to fill in from the activity. So I give you a little bit of time after, but it's all there. Does that make sense? Does that help? And I think you should be able to see these. All of these 5 p.m. ones might be, is this another one? Yeah, that's another in-class one. That's another one. So it looks like all the 5 p.m. ones are the in-class. Great. Other questions? Here, here, and here. That's the default. Yeah. Question here. Sorry, did you want me to follow? Would you like a different time?
That's fine. I was thinking
Oh, would midnight be better? I thought most students go to bed like at 9 or 10. You guys are weird. I'm starting to think maybe you aren't normal. These guys are weird students. Will you send me an email? I can make those changes. I'll change that to midnight if that's helpful. In the past, I've changed that to like a Friday, but I've learned through sad experience that it's better to have the assignment due on Thursday rather than Friday for a multitude of reasons. So I can change that to Thursday night, 11:59, please. Yeah. Yeah, I'll publish them once we use them. Yeah, we don't use all those, so I don't publish them all because it's a little bit, it needs to be cleaned out. It's kind of like my garage right now. It needs to be cleaned out. Don't look at my garage. If you come over to my house, don't look at my garage. Thank you. I appreciate
Like better and extra credit.
that. Clean out my garage.
So she actually pointed this out, so I'm not gonna take credit for it, but she saw when you pulled up all the in-class stuff.
Yeah.
She saw there was one in January, and I think there's one on the 29th of January. That's the first one, not February.
Right, right. Yeah, there was. Did you see that one on the calendar? I saw that too. Was it published? Did you see it?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
that's right.
Yep, that's right. Coin flip. Very cool. Okay, great. Yes, there is. Do you want me to show you that now or after you do your homework? Or both? Yeah, right here. This is the trick. See that blue button, assessment feedback? Sorry. Oh, let me scroll up a little bit. I can't scroll up anymore. This assessment feedback blue button right there. If you click on that, it takes you to Mobius. And in Mobius, you can see everything that you submitted. And you can go in here and you can actually see the answers that you submitted. And it doesn't show anything right now because I haven't submitted anything. And I'll show you once we have something to submit. But you can click down into this and you can actually see what you submitted and what the correct answer is after you submit it. So yeah, that's a big one, especially for rework. If you want to rework something, you're gonna want to know what the correct answer is. And that's it right there. Good question, please. Right. That's right. So that's true too. That's true too. I'll change the deadline till midnight. Yes.
that'd be great because sometime after the labs, we will still stick.
Sure. You can still have time between the lab and the due date. Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, I like that. I don't have the TA's emails yet. But these are the hours and the location. So it's upstairs in the Smith, 478, 445, 6:30, Monday through Thursday. If you get there Monday and Tuesday, you're more likely to get more attention from the TAs, right? Yeah, there's nobody there Monday. Okay, great, please.
January 24th.
Does that mean we don't have to do it? Oh,
But it's.
I-
I don't think so.
oh dear. Yeah. Yeah, send me an email on that. I'll correct that. That'd be great. Great. Other questions? Okay, great. That is basically the course. You can purchase the hard version for $10 if you want to. Let's see, anything else I need to cover? I think that's it. Okay, we're down to the last few minutes here. Let's talk Excel before I forget. So if we go to week 1, introduction to operations management, one of the things that's due besides the syllabus quiz. So here are some that just become. There is a True Wealth reading quiz that comes from the book, chapter 1, open book. The highest score of 2 attempts will count. These are pretty small things, shouldn't take you. The Excel mastery quiz, I want to do that right now. Can we spend a few minutes and walk through this together? So if you pull this up in your Canvas, this is what the Excel mastery quiz is. It's just kind of a self-reporting. We're just reporting your own Excel experience. And so we'll open up this quiz. Let's see. The purpose of this quiz is to determine whether you have sufficient Microsoft Excel skills to succeed. Carefully follow these steps before starting the quiz. Does everybody see that? We all pulled up there? We good? So this is week 1. We just pulled up week 1 Excel mastery quiz. Chico State. Where's Chico State? Oh, okay. California. Makes sense. Very cool. Okay, what's step 1? Who can read step 1 for me?
A or group B?
Okay, A or group B. A students in group A are those they've already passed a college level Excel class or currently enrolled or passed another class that uses Excel or already have good Excel skills. Okay, that's group A. What's group B?
You're not already past.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's it. A or B. Which group are you? That's all this Excel mastery quiz is. So we're not going to test your Excel. We're just going to take your word for it. We're going to trust what you. By the way, what if you're in group B? What happens, Brother Chapman, if I'm in group B? Hey, it turns out, hey, look, here's we got some stuff for you, group Bers. If you're in group B, there are some videos that take about 2.5 hours that I highly recommend you walk through. Does that make sense? If you're in group B, you need to put in a couple of extra hours up front here. By the way, if you're in group B, if you don't have any Excel experience, the sooner you get that, the better, both for an internship perspective as well as a job perspective. So the benefit here is do it now. Sooner the better. Sooner the better. So 2.5 hours of videos. You may even answer the quiz questions after participating and reviewing all 11 videos. So it's saying don't answer these questions. Guess what question 1 is? Question 1 says, which group are you in, A or B? And question 2 says, wait, really? Honestly, which one are you in, A or B? I mean, it's a little bit verbose here, but is that the right word? You're good. I think it's pretty close. You could just give me like a thumbs up. That'll make me feel better. Thank you. Appreciate that. Perfect. And that's what we really want to know. If you're group B, if you're like on the border, if you're not really sure, come talk to me. Let's chat. I'd love to know if you feel like you're in group B, even though you took a class. I'm happy to help. The reality is, I think you can be successful in this class. So don't let this deter you from thinking that you can do it. But that's it. That's it for the Excel mastery quiz. We good? Okay, that's great. Other than the syllabus quiz, the true wealth quiz, if I go back to the home page and I click on week 2, we should see in week 2, here is the reading quiz, and here is a link to help you look at the key terms quiz. So if you click on this link here, it takes you to Quizlet, and you can actually do some flashcards, some other things here to help you learn for the key terms quiz that we will take in class on Monday. Sound good? Before I let you go, I need give me a thumbs up if you have sent your team email to me with the names and your team number. Does it have the number and the names? Beautiful. Hey, thanks so much for coming. Class dismissed. We'll see you guys on Monday. Good job. The first day's over. Isn't that nice? Easy peasy. Maybe too easy.
No.
Should have slammed us into some Excel. We should have done some solver or something. Some. Oh, okay.
But I don't have it on camera.
Okay, usually that takes a day or so. Usually it takes a day or so. Hey, thanks, Logan.
What about the quizzing?
I think the deadline is Saturday. Thank you. So send me an email if you don't have Canvas in the class tomorrow, by tomorrow night. And even if it's late, I'll give you some extra time to do those quizzes and stuff. So it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, it's
Should be
not
fine.
there, so that's why I'll text you. if
Yeah,
it's
sure.
not there.
Let me know.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're-
Good. I hope it's helpful. I hope it's helpful.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. You bet. How's it going?
Curious, I took business applications, which